Hey guys, it's me Shane. I'm here to bring you another review of Yashahime, the Half Demon Princess. If you notice the camera quality being different, I had to use a different camera because the other one seems to be overheating a bit. So this will be my third time trying to get this video out because I have some thoughts and I just want to quickly review over what happened. I got some notes here. Episode 2 is called The Three Princesses. Please, let's keep that in mind as we go over this. So, we're shown Towa and Sasuna when they're younger. They're running about, frolicking. They are obviously have demons of some sort because they're able to leap high, high up in the trees, backflip, slice and grab apples before they even fall to the ground. And, they fall asleep. Excuse me. Towa's the older of the twins. Excuse me again. And we are given a moment where we see that there's flames, there's a fire. She's trying to run with her sister in tow and almost loses her. Tries to go back and get her, and a flaming tree is falling down. Sasuna pushes her out the way, and suddenly her eye jewel, I know it's an eye jewel, starts to go off, and she being told was sucked through a tree, and comes out of the sacred tree where the sacred well was. All right. Even though it doesn't look like they were anywhere near it, but okay, all right. So then she is greeted by an older Sota. Sota is the younger brother of Kagome. And, I can tell it's Sota just because of the haircut and because they tell you at the bottom last name's Higurashi. He agrees to help her find her sister Sasuna, and she instantly trusts him for, they're technically related, like half related through marriage. So she trusts him. Over time, you know, as he gets older, he adopts her. On top of that, she starts to her memory start to fade of her sister and her past life. And now we see that she's older. She's 14. Apparently, they were 4 back then, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me because they didn't look 4 and they were. Maybe it's a half demon thing. Whatever. Now she's 14. It's 10 years later. She's very much the sporty type. She has a gym. She has workout equipment. She works out. She's getting ready for school. She has a younger sister who's Sota's blood daughter. They have a very sisterly bond. They're called One-chan and, Imoto. And and we get a glimpse of the outfit that Towa was wearing in the first episode. And Sota's like, why are you still wearing boys' clothes? You're going to an all-girls school. And she's saying, wearing this makes it easier to fight. It makes a lot of sense to me. And he's saying, no fights. You're going to all-girls school. And she's saying, ever since I rescued I rescued one kid in elementary school from a bully, I've always been fighting. And I've been fighting against, fighting the weak. And what she means by the weak, she means those who are bullying people. And she's instantly greeted by 6 stereotypical delinquent guys. She kicks their butts. They're sent running. She almost breaks one guy's arm. Actually, they're not even sent running. She decides to she's done fighting them and leaves. And, he drops the plot line for later that he's going to get Anarchy. She's going to get his big bro. And they're also saying she's soft for not finishing off, but she's like, they're weak. She goes off. I believe we are then transported into the feudal era, where we are met with Inuyasha, who is obviously Inuyasha and Kagome's daughter. She's approached by Moroku and Sango's son. I can't remember this guy's name. I don't really care to remember his name. Apparently, she's being blamed for attacks that are going on in the village. Uncle Kohaku shows up, and he believes Inuyasha, who's also called Morohara, the demon hunter. And they make some jabs about her being a half demon and how you're a demon hunter, blah, 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 blah. She's already fired up. She's going to use some of the powder that comes from this red pearl jewel she has. And Sasuna, a grown-up Sasuna with a Naginata, places her blade to her neck. Inuyasha name dropped the Naginata, says if she beats her, she gets it. Don't remember that name, but she did say the name of her sword was the Kurikaramaru. It's the one that had the little dragon symbol thing on it. I'm pretty sure the dragon was supposed to be the dragon that Inuyasha had to kill, that his dad didn't kill, for him to get the backlash wave. I digress. They get into a bit of a scuffle. Then a centipede demon, female centipede demon with 3 eyes, looks very familiar. If you've seen episode 1 of Inuyasha, you know. It appears, says, I want the jewel. Benny Yasha's blade doesn't sink into it, so she fires a sacred arrow volley. Even Kohaku says, is that a sacred arrow? No, it's a sealing arrow. There's really no difference. There's no difference. Anyway, her jewel is psychically taken and absorbed by this thing. Coolio. We are then suddenly transported back to the present, where May, the younger sister, has just left out of school. She has 2 of her friends. She leaves off, and then 3 guys that Towa had beaten up earlier, they go and follow her. You can see where this is going. Later on at Towa school, which is called St. Gabriel, she is met by a teacher. She's like, oh, I'm kicked out again. They're going to call my parents. And the teacher's like, well, it's preposterous that you were fighting. You showed up late. But you know what? It's your first offense. I'm just going to let it go. So this seems like this is going to be some form of adult guidance in her life that she probably needs. I'm calling it now. She later on, looks around, jumps on top of a building, and is going to either... I thought she's going to eat, but it looks like she's cleaning a blade. She's cleaning the sword that she gave us the name to. Pretty sure I wrote it down somewhere. Oh yeah, it's called the Kiku Jonji. Apparently it's some type of famous sword used by an emperor or something or other. But she takes a sniff, and all 3 of these young ladies have sniffed to smell and identify who's the half demon and what's going on. She can smell May's tears from miles away. Books at home, and then we are greeted with May tied up, Kagome's mom tied up, who still looks good 10 years later, and Kagome's grandfather. And it's very cute because when she calls her granddad Oji-san, she calls Kagome's mom Oh Mama, it's adorable. It shows that she's very, she's polite and she cares about them. And at the same time, we see these other gentlemen that she beat up with some stereotypical guy with a pompadour, but this time with a wooden sword. She's ready to dispatch these guys, but then someone takes out a butterfly knife and aims at the sister's neck. We get a good little flashback of Towa when she was younger, promising Sota to not show her powers. She's getting smacked around, but she can't keep her promise. Ends up using, her agility, flips from one edge to the other, throws the guy at the other people. They're like, she's not even human. They even made a comment earlier that she's not really, how can that be a woman? Whatever. She's ready to kick their butts. But then suddenly, sirens go off in the distance. They think the cops have been called and they leave. And Oji-san makes a joke about, we got lucky because they just passed by. And there was actually a funny bit of back and forth between May and Towa. As May was asking, why do you keep fighting? Don't you want to be nice and feminine and stuff like that? Can't you just stop? It sounds worse from the way I'm saying it, but it was a cute little exchange. And, May's genuinely concerned and she's actually crying. And Towa's like, in this world, men do certain things are masculine, certain things are feminine. And while I'm tired of that world, and if you do anything differently, you're seen as an outcast. For May, I will stop because she actually loves her little sister. She's upset that she's crying. Then we are gone back to the feudal era, where now the centipede demon has gotten a hold of Sasuna, somehow pulls the golden pearl from her eye. These are called rainbow pearls. That's what this demon has name dropped, because she did show a flash of it before. And now, after she's gotten it and this 3-eyed demon is transformed again, the tree from the first episode that we saw with the bone, the head chopping off tree, it speaks and says, after find all this time, it says, I got the jewels. I don't know if it's going after the rainbow jewels or if it thinks it's the Shigan jewel. No clue, but then another time warp opens up like the one earlier. Sasuna, the demon holding her, and Inuyasha are sent through it Inuyasha once passes out because of going through I think she called it the Rainbow Gate. Uh, so it's not Setsuna Towa can sense that something's going to come out of this tree and gets May out of the way. And on sight and smell alone, she remembers her sister. And she's like, I'm going to save you. Uses that same sword. But unlike Inuyasha's sword that just kind of bounced off, this thing full on breaks. And that is where the episode ends. We're given a preview of Setsuna obviously not remembering Towa. They're regrouping from fighting this thing, and eventually they're going to finish it off. Sorry if it seems like I'm going fast. Just trying to get this under 15 minutes. And at the same time, I have some thoughts. I'm going to give you, I do everything out of 5, so I'm going to give you my rating first. This is 3. Just flat out a 3. This is like as mediocre as I can come up with. Yeah, it looks like Inuyasha. Same art. It's fine. Voice acting is fine. But as rushed as my recap may seem, all of this that I've just seen seems extremely rushed. Like, what bothers me, which is why I wanted to get straight into this. You know, in the opening, we see Kohaku and Moroku and Sango's son. I'm just going to call him Hee. And they even name drop Lady Kaede. They're like, you know, lead the thing over to Lady Kaede. And I know this is going to get answered, but why is Shishomaru's daughters, why were they not with him? And I'm just going to call it right now. It's Shishomaru Ren's kid. I don't care however they figure it out. I know it's his kid because Setsuna acts like Shishomaru, very quiet and straight to the point. And Towa acts like a mixture of Shishomaru and Ren. She's talkative like Ren, but Shishomaru hates people that pick on, you know, those that are weaker than them. You know, to him, power is everything. So if you have power, you fight someone powerful. That's her attitude. And Inuyasha, I mean, come on. Inuyasha, she acts like her dad, but has both the abilities of her mother and a sword like her father. She even did a Crimson Wave, and Setsuna did like a Cyclone thing with the Naginata, which, you know, we see two name drop moves, which is nice and it's cool and everything. But I didn't look this up, and like I said in my first review, I didn't finish Inuyasha. You know, I didn't finish the original, and I didn't finish the last 36 episodes that were brought out as quickly as the manga had ended. But I am bewildered. I'm bewildered with how like fast this is going. And when I mean fast, I mean the first episode didn't have to be what Inuyasha and the crew were doing before. I get that, you know, it's been possibly since 2012. I believe this stuff dropped on Hulu maybe like around 2014. It's been around 6 to 8 years. No one, you know, people probably wondering, oh, what happened to our guys? One of the best things you could have done, have episode 2 be episode 1. Where it's like, this is what happened. We got separated. Then all of a sudden, now you got these callbacks. Now we're saying, wait, who's this kid that's on Kirara? Wait, he called him Uncle Kohaku? Is that Sango's kid? That means Sango and Moroku got together? This girl looks like Inuyasha, but she's shooting stuff like Kagome. Is that their kid? You can have so many more people hooked and wanting to see episode 2. Instead, in episode 1, you did a fan servicey thing. And that's really what fan service is, guys. It's, you know, showing people things that they like, that they know, that they remember. And it's even more fan service in this episode because we get this old demon that we've seen that was in episode 1 that was killed twice. This thing was killed twice. And I know it's not the same one. I don't remember the other one having 3 eyes. But, you know, we name dropping these jewels. We're name dropping these names of these swords like we're supposed to care. The original Inuyasha, his backstory was told over a series of episodes. Yeah, I'm sure in episode 8 or whatever, Kaede told Kagome, yeah, he was strung up by a tree by my sister. You know, they had a relationship, they were close, but suddenly he betrayed her, she betrayed him. Who knows? And over the course of the entire anime, we are given answers. This is what happened on Kikyo's side. This is what happened on Inuyasha's side. Who was Naraku? Who's the big bad? As far as we know, the big bad is probably this random bonehead tree thing that was killed in episode 1, but not really killed. I can't see this thing getting bigger and bigger from wanting more jewels. And then the whole pearl thing, Inuyasha had a black pearl, which is where the burial ground of his, their father was. Okay, I'm okay with the callbacks. I'm just, I'm bewildered at the pace this episode went, and I'm bewildered at how they're throwing all this stuff so fast with no context. Hey, you guys like Inuyasha, right? You like swords with cool names? We got 2 swords with a name and a Naginata. You guys like action? Cool. I don't care about that. But you guys, here's these names, here's all these callbacks. This should have been episode 1. Episode 3 probably should have been episode 2. The first episode, that should have been a filler. This should have been like an episode 10 or something. That could have been an episode 0, if I'm going to be honest. And yeah, sure, you can kind of count it as an episode 0. I'm not going to hold that against you. Whatever. But this feels off. And I remember saying to myself, I hope it's not like Boruto. And the thing is, this isn't, as far as my knowledge is going, as far as I've talked to some people in a Facebook group, as far as I know, this isn't getting an immediate manga. And I know that the creator of the show, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, I'm sorry. She has a lot to do with this, but it's almost like a GT situation where she's overseeing the story, but someone else is kind of taking the reins and everything. And I'm not going to complain too much about that part of it, but it makes me worried. I'm very worried that none of these people know each other. And I think I would have been more hooked to find out how did Shishomaru lose his twin daughters? Why does the Demon Slayers, because there's multiple Demon Slayers, why would the revived Demon Slayers with Kohaku and Moroku and Sango's son, why would they not know Kagome and Inuyasha's daughter? If you're going to do this, you should have just made the first 15 episodes what happened to them, and then season 2 be about the kids. But if you're going to just make it about the kids, episode 2 this should have just been it. They should have started it. And one thing I should touch on before this gets too long, I am okay with the whole message of, we can't define what's masculine and what's feminine, and people shouldn't be held down by those. Even I fell prey to it in the first episode. I'm like, I don't know who this person is, which it feels like they were deliberately lowering the voices in the first episode for Towa. It feels like you didn't know who they were, or if they were female, male, which to some people that doesn't matter. For me, if I'm reading and I'm told this is about the daughters, okay, who are these people? Okay, why is she dressed like this? Literally, this could have been episode 1 and been like, she goes against social norms. That would have been perfect. And so you have that set in stone. She goes against social norms. That's perfect. She belongs in this other world, because in this other world, if you're strong, you're strong. Even though I do remember people talking crap about strong women in that world too, but that's neither here nor there. That message is fine. It's just these episodes should have been swapped, or the first episode should have just been scrapped, and this should have just started off the gate. I'm completely fine with new characters. I'm completely fine with, some returning characters. Seeing a competent Kohaku that's not a puppet. I'm okay with seeing Lady Kaede, seeing Kagome's hot mom, and seeing Granddad, and seeing a very, very adult Sota. I'm just not for the name dropping and how fast it's going. So Yeah, it's a straight up 3 from me. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I always encourage you guys, even after watching my reviews, please give it a watch yourself and tell me what you thought of it. What do you think of this? Please leave a comment down below. Please like, comment, subscribe. Like I said earlier, hit the notification bell, share the video. I'm going to be trying to bring these to you guys every week. Please be good, be blessed. Wear a mask. Black Lives Matter. And I will definitely see you next time.